What is happening, everyone? Welcome to Dr. Prepper. Today we are going over a brand new gray man style of backpack that was sent into the channel by the HP Hope Company. Now, we did recently do a different overview of a different HP Hope backpack, but today we're going to not only be going over this backpack, which is bigger, it has a couple of different features, and we're going to be kitting this backpack out with some of the basics. Now, this will not be, a fully complete get home style of bag, but we're going to cover some of the basics, and I would like to cover some of the things that maybe you have already in your house that you might be able to use in a situation where, you have a backpack laying around and you have some items already in your house. If we're talking you don't have a ton of money or money's very tight at this point in time, but you need to try to put together a backpack, a get home bag, an emergency bag for your vehicle, which is a fantastic thing to have at your disposal. It's highly recommendable. I think it's imperative that you have some sort of bag, I don't care what it is, filled with items that could be of use to you. So let's go over this backpack a little bit. Now, it's coming from the HP Hope Company. Right now, they usually retail for about $70. Right now, they're retailing for $62.99, and you can get a 5% discount code on top of that. I will try to talk with them and also get an additional 10% off code, see if I can get a code for my viewers. There is a 10% code right now for my viewers on the previous backpack that we checked out. 10% off just for my viewers only, which is awesome. So shout out to the HP Hope Company. So if you remember watching that previous video, it has a little different look. They look similar, but yet this has a couple different features to it that the other one did not. A couple aesthetic features. Now, you do have this front pocket that is a horizontal zipper here, and it's got a decent amount of room in there. Now, you have a secondary zipper pocket here, which goes to about right here. So it'd be nice for maybe a little booklet or maybe a battery backup, something of that nature. And what's cool is on both sides they have big zipper pockets. There's also a padded pocket in here, and this is all nice and opened. You have a tether cord there. We'll flip the bag over, and there is another one on this side, and this one has different compartments in it. This bag has really impressed me. I have been going over this backpack and messing with this backpack for about the last week or so. I haven't had a chance to do a lot with a video on this bag because of work and the holidays. Now you have this big open area here that has this lining over it that's very soft. So you could put some items that, need the extra protection, so to speak, whether it might be electronics, walkie-talkies, that sort of thing. This might be a good area for things of that nature. And then we get to, this is probably my favorite pocket. You have this massive middle pocket with a big organizer here, and it goes all the way down to the bottom of the bag. And then you have two medium-sized pockets here. You have this nice zipper pocket here that goes about halfway. And then if you can see down in there, you have two more nice padded medium-sized pockets. And then here you have a USB and USB-C connectors, because just like on the green backpack, which I love this feature, you can put a battery bank in there and hook it up, or what have you, and then you can run your additional cord from here. So if you have a battery backup in there and your phone's dying, or you have a battery backup in there and your laptop or your tablet is dying, you can grab your portable battery and hook it up, plug in your charger, and then you have a nice clean way of charging your device in the backpack, or maybe it's in your hand or in your pocket. But I think that's a really cool feature. We're going to be testing that out. So there is the middle compartment, and then you have this nice big last open zipper here, which I think I'm going to put a tarp in there, and we'll see what else. We get to the back here, and we have these nice padded shoulder straps. They are very comfortable. I have had some weight in here and kind of been carrying it around, seeing how it feels, and it feels great. It's an awesome backpack so far. We're going to get this loaded with gear, and we're going to continue testing this, and then here in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a review after maybe a month or maybe a little bit longer, and we'll see how this thing has really held up. We have, this is like an extra luggage strap here, so if you have one of them wheel-along suitcases or something, you can kind of slide this over top of there. I'm sure somebody crafty could come up with some other ideas for this. You also kind of have this hidden compartment back here, which is pretty decent sized, and you have this little zipper pouch here, which I think is cool. I think I might put like maybe a little knife in there, a little folding knife, and maybe a lighter or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet, but I didn't realize that was there until, you know, after a few days of having this. I was like, oh, there's a zipper there. And it also has a chest cross strap, you know, just to kind of, if you have this loaded out, kind of take some of that weight off. So let's go ahead and start getting some items in here. So we're going to try to stick to some of the basics. Like I said, we won't be covering everything, but one of the first things I look for in my bags, at least now, this is just theoretical here, just ideas for you. But if you have a backpack like this, or you get this backpack, a tarp is going to fit in that very last slot. An even bigger tarp, it's going to fit in there absolutely perfectly, and it's still going to have that nice comfort feel when you have this on your back. I don't know, even if I have my Maxpedition bag that I have a previous video on. It's one of the most viewed videos on the channel. If I took everything out of there and put it in here, this bag I don't think would still be filled up. There is a literal ton of room in this thing. It's ridiculous, but it's a good thing. And just because you have all that space doesn't necessarily mean you have to fill it all up. Because say you do end up needing this bag and, you know, you need to go on foot, it's not a bad thing to have some extra room in case in your vehicle you have some gear that you could put in here, or you find some things along your travels that you could put in here. Just having a little, you know, an extra pocket or two or a couple slots that are empty is not a bad thing, in my opinion. Another thing is they have these nice leather pulls here. The zippers seem good to go. I don't know that they're YKK zippers or anything like that, but they seem nice and fluid. They seem strong. I'll have to ask them about the zippers and what kind of zippers they are. And you have a nice leather pull handle here that is double stitched. A lot of things on this are double stitched also, or cross patterned. So it should make for a pretty tough bag, especially coming in at the price that it is. You're staying well under, Maxpedition bags and Mystery Ranch bags and bags like that, 511. Not to mention those, even if you get their most gray man style of bag that you can get, they're still going to look semi-tactical. Now, that might not be an issue for you depending on where you live, but if it is, if you can go out and get a backpack for like 50, 60 bucks, that's got a lot of features, that's going to hold up, that's a pretty good value. So we have some semblance of cover, right? How about we go with, we're going to kind of stick with the C's, we have cover. Now we have a canteen or a cup, and we have the ability to filter water here. This is just a Life Straw bottle with a Life Straw filter internally. This is actually something fairly new to me. It does come with a lanyard pull there and then a nice little loop hook here. And I have not really tested this out yet, but this is what I have that makes the most sense, that's not being used elsewhere. I'm not pulling gear from my regular get home bag that's in my truck to try to do this video. I'm trying to use extra stuff, other stuff that I have. So, it's keeping it as authentic as I really can. So that will slide right in the bottle compartment there, which is good to go. Now, for some extra peace of mind, I think it's a great idea to have at least 2 different filters in your bag. So we have our basics of cover, we have our container, we have our water filtration. So we'll slide our water filter, our extra, in here. I try to stay stocked up on those. I get a couple a year, and that has allowed me the ability to have quite a few of them, the Life Straws. I also like the Sawyer Minis. So the next item that I think is a must-have is obviously going to be some Combustion, right? So we have a nice, thick ferrocerium rod. I think it's a 1/2 inch thick, and it is just over 4 inches. So we have ourselves a nice ferrocerium rod, and this was homemade and made for me for my other channel, G-Ball Vision, which is my knife and EDC channel. Now, she made Iggy. I'll link her down below. I'm not sure if she's still making stuff or not, but she made, this leather case, the ferrocerium rod, the paracord, and then the Altoids tin also came in with it. Now, I am the one who kitted out the tin. So we have some weatherproof, stormproof matches in here with some of the strikers. We have some cotton balls and Vaseline nicely packed in there. We also have some extra flints for our Exotac. This will ignite these. I've tested it time and time again. This is a nice little item from Exotac. I'll link Exotac down below. I'm a huge fan of their work. And then we also have some tinder down in there. This is not to be mistaken for like the Titan Light or a Zippo. What this does is throw a nice array of sparks, kind of like a ferrocerium rod. Here we have just a nice little striker for our ferrocerium rod with a little lanyard on it. We have an El Cheapo lighter in here that I've had in here for, I've had that in there for quite a while. I always keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And then I have a well-made bellows in there, which is key sometimes for starting a fire. I am no master fire starter, but I definitely, I dabble a little bit. And then we have our extra flints in there. And I think that is a nice little package. And I can hook it on my belt if I ever feel the need to pull this out. We will throw that down in one of our medium-sized pockets there in our second opening. See, this thing can be kitted out to the gills and you're still going to have a nice amount of room in this thing. So we have cover, we have a canteen or container, we have combustion. How about we go with some cutting? Now, I featured this knife on the channel before. This is a knife through Nedfoss. This is one of their fixed blades. It's in D2 steel, right around the $30 to $35 mark. Full tang, and that's exactly what you're looking for. There's absolutely no reason to buy a knife that is not full tang these days. When you can get them for $30, $35, there's no reason for it. Why spend 10 or 15 bucks on something that'll snap at the handle when you can get, spend another 10 or 15 bucks and get something like this? Full tang construction, G10 handles, D2 steel, comes with a nice edge, a nice thick spine, comes with a lanyard handle here, or a lanyard pull. Yes, Nedfoss does send them that way. You get a Kydex-like sheath. You also get an Alti-clip-like style of clip, which is nice for mounting on the belt, and it is nice and secure. And then this little tab folds over. And then it also comes with a ferrocerium rod and a striker, which is going to give me dual capability in a situation where I have to, go out on foot, and I might have to rely on, the items that I have with me. So having an extra striker, an extra ferrocerium rod, I think is a great idea. Next up, another cutting device, if I can get it out of there. Now this is an El Cheapo multi-tool, 10 or 15 bucks. But I was on this quest to find a cheap multi-tool that was really well made. Now I have lots of, I have Leathermans and I have Sogs and Gerbers. I have all that stuff. But I was on the quest for people who don't want to spend that kind of money to find a decent multi-tool. This is not rusted on me at all. I have one from Walmart that started rusting right away. And it was sitting right next to this. So this is not rusted on me. You have a nice little carabiner there. Nice little set of pliers. And then it does have outside, when the handle is closed, you have a little saw there. You have a little drop point blade there. And I think that is it for in this side. Now, it's not going to be locking, but, 10, 15 bucks, guys, it's hard to, really complain, especially if it's going to hold up. You have this little 3D Phillips head. You have a bottle opener. You have a can opener. You have a little flathead / pry bar there. So this is a fantastic little multi-tool in my opinion for 10 or 15 bucks. Now make sure if you are looking at these, I'll link it down below, but make sure if you're looking at these, they have a couple other ones mixed in with that. Make sure you get the right one. And then I think it comes with a case. Maybe it don't, but I had, I have these laying around, so I just threw it in there. So we have 2 cutting devices as well. So we have 2 cutting devices, we have 2 filters, we have multiple ways of combustion, 2 ferrocerium rods, 2 strikers, we have cover, we have a container. Next up is a must-have, and that is going to be cordage. Now, I have rolls of paracord also, but I also have boxes of this twine that I used to get from work. I have thousands of feet, and this stuff is very strong for what it is, and you can do a lot with this kind of twine, this rope, and I'm a big fan of it. I have a bunch of it. So not only do I like paracord, especially the survivor cord, which I've talked about before, which I'll probably put, 10 or 15 feet of survivor cord in here along with this cordage. So it's always a good idea to have some cordage. Maybe we'll put that back here with the tarp. That way, because that's kind of what you would use that with, or that what will be one of the items you're using that with. Next up, we will go ahead and put a nice little battery backup in there. Now, I tried fitting this in here before, and it just sticks out. So we're not going to be able to, I have some smaller ones that would probably fit, but we're going to slide this guy in this pocket right here. There is an absolute ton of room in here. And then that way, if I want to connect this to that, which we can do right now, you want to see how it works? Or see if it works? So we are plugged in there. Now, do I have something I can charge? Yeah, I do. How about we check my little electric lighter? We have the cord here. So we have our charging cord here. I'm kind of interested because I have not checked this out yet. So it plugs in pretty nicely there. Flip that open. Nice. So we do have good connection in there to plug your battery back up in and then plug into that. I think that's a cool little feature. Is it a must-have? No, I don't think it is. But I think that is a cool feature. If you're on foot and you need to charge up your phone, you can throw the you don't got to keep the battery in your pocket. You can keep the battery in there, plug your charger into the side of your backpack, throw your backpack on, plug your phone in, and you are still continuing on your path. So we'll also throw a couple goodies in there. We have a log and jotter, which is just these nice little notebooks. They come with all kinds of different pages. This one is just blank, regular pages. Wonder if I think that'll fit in here. Maybe we'll throw it in the front. I'll figure something out to put in there. We'll put that here up front. And then we just have a little first aid and survival guide. My buddy who lives in Michigan sent me this, but it applies to anywhere, and it covers all kinds of stuff, guys, from medical stuff, choking, CPR for adults, I mean, fire building, compass, using a compass, what to do if you have certain illnesses, bleeding, diarrhea, you know, how to get water, how to build cover, how to field dress, fire building, tying certain knots. I mean, this is an awesome, awesome little book filled with all kinds of information. What to do if you break something, poison, get shocked, hypothermia, wild plants, wind chill guide, different survival gear, signaling, shelter building. It's an awesome, awesome little book. Highly recommendable. We'll put that in there and kind of zipper it up. And then we will go ahead and throw a little pocket knife in there, a little folding knife. This is a Kubi designed, I think this is called, what is this? I will link it down below, but it's from Colin Mason Pierre. It's in D2 steel. It's coated, so that'll help with corrosion resistance. You got multiple ways to open it. On ball bearings, ceramic detent ball, reversible clip, lanyard hole. Nice little usable EDC type knife, which, you know, this will in turn, you know, work well for out in the field doing things. Is it a tactical knife? No, it is not a tactical knife, but it will do knife things very well. Let's see if this will fit in this little zipper compartment. Yes, sir, it will. So that'll be nice. If you got this strapped over your shoulder, you know, and you could put like a stabby knife in there as well. And then you would have that right there next to you if you had to get it out, you know, quickly. Because, you know, in this thought process, we are trying to stay as gray man as possible, so we don't have, you know, an AR-15 around our shoulder. We're not open carrying. We are trying to blend in with the rest of everyone else, look as normal as everyone else, and be able to have a ton, or not a ton, but have the gear that we need with us on our backs and no one know any different. And that is the fantastic thing about this bag. This looks just like any old backpack, really, that, you know, I have my my extra sweatshirt in, you know, maybe my laptop. It looks like an everyday bag, and I think this is, you know, the quintessential style of gray man bag right here. This does not look tactical one iota, and it's loaded with features. We're going to do an update. You know, I will show you how I ended up finishing this backpack off, and I will do a review of this backpack and how it is held up. If you want to snag one now, I will link it down below. I will try to get a code for you guys, like I said. We'll see about that. If you want to wait for my review on this and see how it holds up, you can also do that as well. But I think this is a nice bag, and we got a good start. We have the main 5 items covered: cutting tool, combustion, cover, container, and cordage. You know, that's the core. And then, of course, there's other items we could add into this. You'll have to let me know down below what you think needs added in. Maybe some walkie-talkies, you know, so on and so forth. Let me know down below what you would add in on top of the stuff I already have in here. I'd love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. leave that comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button because I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.